Hello, people out there, and welcome back to a fresh new season of your favorite podcast, Seek Your Purpose. A new year, a new season, a fresh perspective of viewing life from an all new angle, and you're seeking deep, tired inspiration from even the minutest creature we are being surrounded by. Welcome back to the show. This is your host for the show, Mayank Sehra. So, if you're listening to me for the very first time and you discover the podcast just like that, then I welcome you on board, and I'm sure you'll be having an amazing time over here. So tap the follow button to follow the show on the app you're listening to never ever miss out an episode the time we upload it. And if you're a regular listener and love the content I've produced till date, then please open Apple Podcasts and Spotify, rate the show a 5-star rating, drop in your reviews, and let us grow organically by reaching out to the maximum of such purpose seekers that we have around us. So excited to hear the next episode? So am I. So let's kickstart the episode. Here we go. Nothing in this world can beat the feeling of reaching a milestone in the podcasting journey, creating a 50th episode full of inspiration, and giving the light of the day to a year-long manifestation goal. And yes, to add a cherry on top, it's Friendship Day today. Hello, people out there. Today's episode isn't a pre-planned one. I haven't brainstormed on it earlier. It's more of an epiphany than a mere piece of content that I'm creating today. It's Sunday, 6th of August, and I'm willingly writing, recording, and releasing this episode today itself to seize the day. And I'm giving life to thoughts that I had encountered today, else, just like thousands of various thoughts that we encounter on a daily basis, this one will be long gone. So before I start this epiphany, I would like to take you all back to the start of the year 2023. So during the beginning of the year, I decided to obey a power of 3. That is, 3 goals or ideas which I'll be sticking to throughout the year to level up my game in this human race of prosperity and leaving an amazing dent in the universe. So these were: number 1, to create a purposeful life. Number 2, to take decisions out of growth and not comfort. And number 3, anything can wait but health. So I would like to lay emphasis on the third point that I just shared, that is, anything can wait but health. So as far as I could recall, the fittest, leanest, and the quickest I was way back in 2018. Following many lows of unhealthy eating, binge eating, unfulfilled promises, distorted sleep pattern, beer love, and disobeyed workout schedules, I decided to make 2023 the fittest year I could ever recall. And to make things happen, I figured out one needs to be duly involved in any of the physical sports or activities that will keep you fit, agile, steady, driven, concentrated, and punctual. For me, it all lies in my natural inclination towards an outdoor jog or a run. So way back in 2021, when I just started out working on a purposeful front, I created a manifestation board in which one of the things that I want to manifest or make happen was running a marathon, which I made possible today. Yes, 6th of August 2023, and I made it happen. A couple of months ago, I discovered about Dwarka Half Marathon, which was scheduled to happen on 6th of August. That was it. 2 months of time to align myself with the demand of the hour. So the initial task was to choose from the category in which I want to participate: 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, and 21 kilometers. Since I've been in love with the outdoor walks and jogs, and I'm consistent over there, I decided to go for a jog and see the maximum stretch that I could cover in a single go. So having said that, 2 kilometers was an easy task, 3 kilometers was a medium one, but 5 kilometers was hard. So there you go. I decided to prepare myself up for a 5-kilometer jog in the marathon. So amid all this pompousness, my highly procrastinated and insecure self It was continuously forcing me to quit and not subscribe to the jog. And I did exactly the same. I kept on procrastinating making the payment until 2 days before the marathon. I signed up for it. And when I did it, believe me, I was at peace. I was in complete alignment with myself, with my goal. I was pumped up. Else, I would have been blaming and regretting not making a payment. And I'm glad that I listened to that little inner voice inside and agreed to go ahead. The D-Day. Why is it tough to wake up at 5 in the morning and involve in meditation, a physical workout or journaling? But it's quite easy to wake up even prior to that when we have a scheduled train, a scheduled flight or any other important meeting to attend. I haven't been able to figure out the exact reason why we humans behave in such a manner. Why do we feel so restless the night before the exam and not the nights followed? So any psychologists who are listening to me right now, please drop me a message and help me out. And the same happened to me as well. Every day before I'm off to sleep, I counsel my mind and align it to wake me up at 5 am the very next morning. But to my dismay, every day I wake up either at 5:30 or 6, and that's I feel bad. But today, just like the apprehension of missing an early morning flight, I was excited yet anxious about my first ever marathon. And as a result, I had a distorted sleep the last night while I was supposed to have a deep sleep of 6 to 7 hours. I woke up at 3:30 am to get myself freshened up and reach the venue at its designated time of 5 am. 3:30 am in the morning, and I was feeling the sense of tranquility of the early morning vibes. No honking, no chattering, no vehicular noise, no digital device, no one to talk to, no chaos, nothing. I could easily hear my own breath. It was the sense of being alive and waking up for a change. It was magical. The Brahm Muhurat has its own trance and relevancy, and I could feel it. The thoughts were encouraging, it was powerful, magnificent, magnum, and all the way fantastic. So it was 5:10. I left home to reach the venue of the marathon, and since I was the only one in my family to sign up for it, I had to embark on this journey by myself. Honestly, I was nervous, I was anxious, I was stressed, but excited. So I kept on telling myself this phrase, अब चाहे जो हो जाए, सिपाही तो तैयार है. So I drove and reached the venue at 5:30 am, and to my amazement, I saw a multitude of marathoners gathered under one roof. Few were nervous just like me. Some of them seemed to be our regular marathoners, while others were there to have a fun sporty time. The Zumba session was on, people were warming up, and with a bit of anxiety, I joined the bandwagon. With the evergreen pompousness feeling surmounting my head, कि boss, लोग क्या कहेंगे, लोग क्या सोचेंगे, and am I looking good? I sidelined all of these and I jumped straight into the Zumba session and did a session of around 20-25 minutes before heading to the starting point of my jog. So I was there along with fellow marathoners gathered all together at the starting line while waiting for the buzzer to go live. And during this time period of being at the starting point and waiting to kickstart the run, I decided 3 things in my mind. The first one was, the focus is going to be on the process and not on the outcome. The outcome is covering a 5 km non-stop, but the process of keeping a steady pace and finishing the race, beating my previous best of 37 minutes, was the process I was focused on. Second one was, feel the vibes around you. So feel the outdoor marathoner vibes when you'll be surrounded by fellow marathoners of various age groups of different genders, sweating it all hard on a Sunday morning to level up their game of a fitter life. And number 3, ये 5 किलोमीटर तो बस एक बेस कैंप है. मुझे तो एवरेस्ट चढ़ना है. So 5 kilometers is the base camp and I'm dreaming of doing a 10 kilometers. That sounds like an Everest for me right now. And I'm prepping up for the upcoming Delhi Half Marathon in Children's Stadium on 15th of October, where I'll be pacing a 10-kilometer stretch non-stop and trying to cover it under 60 minutes. There you go. The hooter went off and we were good to go. So over the next 30-35 minutes, I could sense my heartbeat and breath. I wasn't competing with anyone else but myself. So while in the race, some of my fellow marathoners, they bypassed me while I surpassed many of them. So grabbing a first, second or a third position was never there on my mind. I was there running along with them to sense the version of Mayank which I was drafting. I was there to meet that version of Mayank who decided to run a marathon and is currently manifesting a year-long wish. I was there to meet that version of Mayank which was Beshak, Befikr and Bindas. A version of Mayank whom I'm falling for every single day. And in between that run, after a stretch of 2.5 kilometers, I was surpassing a fellow runner who was short of breath. I tapped him on the back and said, "Chal kake, holi holi rukina." So 30 minutes were up. I could see the finish line right there in front of me, 300 meters apart. I brazened myself up, started taking a leap of long faith, kept my pace constant and started chasing the finishing line. It was a tremendous feeling of people cheering up for you at the finish line. And amid all the chills, sweat and muscle pain, a sense of happiness and satisfaction was paving its way deep down under. And I crossed the finish line. This is it. The 5 kilometers jog was done and dusted. And the next moment I grabbed an energy drink, sat, and could easily feel the fat sweating it all out from my body. The body was warm, the sense was amusing, and I rested for 10 minutes and realized that this is a great time to catch up in a conversation with a fellow marathoner so I could gain some tips and tricks to prepare myself up for the upcoming challenge. A 10-kilometer marathon in less than 70 days. I have to prepare that up. So I had a conversation with a female marathoner. Her name was Dr. Nikita Anand. She's a fitness enthusiast and she was holding a flag that said 10 kilometers in 72 minutes. She gave me some piece of advice to prepare myself for the upcoming one. I felt amazed and a bit relaxed. That's how the bonding of likewise minded people feels like, I guess. So amid the early morning breeze, fellow marathoners, Zumba, dance, aerobics, marathon, food, energy drinks, chit-chat and energy lies a decision of creating a life that I'm extremely proud of creating. The stage is all set, the self is all prepped up, the swings are all in my favor. So taking a leap of faith from my 5-kilometer marathon run in 32 minutes, I'm all the way thrilled and excited to participate and finish a whopping 10-kilometer long stretch in less than 60 minutes at the upcoming Delhi Half Marathon, tentatively scheduled on 15th of October at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Delhi. So anyone who's planning to participate in the marathon, drop me a text. A great time to grow a community and bond with likewise minded people to make this world a better place to live, love, grow and prosper. Till then, stop wishing and start doing. सोचने में इतना वक्त ना लगाओ कि काम करने से मन ही उग जाए. Take care. So that's what I've got for you in today's episode. An episode which was duly created with love, hope, faith, passion, compassion, and a sense of gentle reminder to tap upon. So if you feel connected with my perspective at any point of time, then drop in your comments on the podcast app you're listening to. You can even drop me a mail at officialseekyourpurpose@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram, Facebook or LinkedIn at MAYANKSEHRA. That is Mayank Sara. So I'll be looking forward to your messages. So hey self, happy 30s. So let's create a life which we are extremely proud of creating, living, and thus giving it back to the society in the most genuine way. Cheers. I'll see you in the next episode.